ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Reading from the book. When we approach some gentleman and request him to become a reader of Back to Godhead, sometimes we are replied with the words, no time. They say that they are too busy in earning money for maintaining the body and soul together. But when we ask them what do they mean by the soul, they have nothing to reply. Dr. Meghnad Sahab, a great scientist, was busily going to a meeting of the Planning Commission. Unfortunately, while going in his car on the road, he died, and he could not ask death to wait because he had no time at that moment. Dr. Ansari, the great Congress leader, while dying in a moving train on his way to home, said that he was himself a medical man and almost all his family members so. But death is so cruel that he was dying without any medical treatment. Therefore, death has been described in the Bhagavad as the indefatigable. Death is awaiting everyone's, although everybody thinks that he may not die. There is life after death. The busy man should try to know his this also as to whither he is going. This life is but a spot in his longest sojourn, and a sane person should not be busy with a spot only. Nobody says that the body should not be maintained, but everybody should know from Bhagavad Gita that the body is outward dress and the soul is a real person who puts on the dress. So if the dress is taken care of only without any care of the real person, it is sheer foolishness and waste of time. Abhay was an unusual newspaper vendor. He didn't loudly hawk his paper on the street or sell it from a newsstand. He approached individuals quietly as they sat to drink tea, or he would call on acquaintances in their offices or places of business. Taking a copy from the stack he carried underneath his arm, would present what appeared to be an ordinary tabloid newspaper with bold black headlines across the front page. But what odd headlines! The lowest of mankind, philosophical problems within social awareness, suffering of humanity, the pure consciousness of nationalism. Anyone could tell at a glance that this was no ordinary newspaper. Abhay would say something to try to convince them to take it anyway, before they said, no time. On behalf of his spiritual master and the previous Vaishnava authorities, he was playing a role and the newspaper salesman, a smiling demeanor, a gentlemanly invitation. No, it wasn't an ordinary newspaper, but they would find it interesting and it only cost 6 paisa. Thus, he was extending the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, handing out the truths of the Vedas in the easy to take form of a newspaper. Despite his desperate poverty and the urgency of his message, his writing was never strident, or fanatical. He wrote expecting to find his reader prepared to hear sound philosophy and always willing to accept the truth, especially when prepared logically and relevantly and supported by the authoritative Vedic literature. Although experience on the streets of Delhi had shown him that people were shallow, distracted, and uninterested in self realization, he knew that most people, at least at some time in their lives, pondered the crucial themes of philosophy: whether God exists, whether he is a person, why there is suffering. So Abhay appealed to their higher sentiments. Spring of 1956 brought visit from US Secretary of State Dulles, and a few days later, Lord Mountbatten, the former Governor General of India, was greeted at the airport by thousands. Then came a celebration of the one sacred day of Holi, when urchins spray all passers-by with colored dyes. Prime Minister Nehru toured the Delhi slums expressing disgust at the prevailing condition. He announced India's intention to develop atomic energy, stressing its peaceful uses. The weather warmed. A border clash began between India and Pakistan. Delhi railway workers went on strike. Meanwhile, Abe continued to preach. He somehow managed to meet the financial, editorial, and printing demands and published his sixth issue for the year 1956, the May 20th edition of Back to Godhead. The front page carried a special note. As a matter of principle, please read Back to Godhead and revive your deeper aspects of personality. There is nothing in it which is our ideology, manufactured by imperfect sense perception, but all that it contains are messages of our liberated sages. We are simply helping them to speak again to men and women in easy language for your life. Every responsible man and woman must therefore read it regularly, and the cost of very insignificant sum of rupees 2 or 4 a year or as 3 per month. Do not neglect it. It is for your interest. It will create a happy society of humanity. In How to Broadcast the Teachings of Bhagavad Gita, he talked about the need for spiritual organization in society. A model community which he named Gita Nagari, the village where Bhagavad Gita is sung, would live by the Bhagavad Gita and preach its messages to the world. Praising Mahatma Gandhi for his Vaishnava qualities, Abe suggested that Gandhi had also esteemed the Gita Nagari concept. It was the only way of relief from the sufferings caused by demonic principled leaders who were misguiding the present demoralized civilization. Let me stop here, Prabhu. It beautifully
You can
describes about.
you can
Okay,
continue for another minute, Prabhu.
okay. He was calculating how to capture the restless popular imagination. He wanted to present Krishna's teachings in a clear, straightforward way and distribute them widely. He felt that good arguments from authoritative scripture would appeal to sane, impartial, educated people, even though they claimed to be uninterested. He knew that somehow, without abandoning his gravity and his absolute conclusion, he must capture their interest. They were relegating religion to some book of scripture on the shelf that they never read, didn't understand, or couldn't believe. He brought it he brought it to them as a newspaper, yet it was as good as the scriptures. No, it wasn't what they expected in the newspaper, but they might read it. Here, Prabhupada has been mentioning about life after death, soul and body, importance of soul, importance of the back to Godhead teachings, and also preparing an individual who wants to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. The story that we are reading here is back in 1956, which is about at least 70 years old. Even today, we still see the same situation. Even if we ask somebody, they say no time. But a good point that came up is everyone in this world who came should depart one day or other. That is no doubt. And here, even Prabhupada ji is requesting all of us to channel the holy name of the Lord and remember the Lord every moment in our life. Thank you. Let me read the mantras. Let me chant the